quickly. Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday the 6th of October. So we're starting off looking at the possible news impact onto the markets today, and of course the biggie out there is the non-farm payrolls, whether you're looking for Canadian data or US data. So both of them got the non-farms coming out, both at the same time at 1:30. That's the big mover this morning. We've got an FOMC speaker following after that. Let's just check other speakers. This news of a series. No, that's it. Well, Walla. Is that right? Same. Yeah, Walla. That's it. There's not a lot of others. It's a. In terms of program speakers, that is. Right. So let's have a look at the markets. We'll come on start on as ever onto the euro dollar. Strong downward trend continues. There's nothing different there. We've got a little bit of a adjusting going on here, maybe on the 4 hours. If we look down, there we go. There we've sort of we've broken out. Okay, we're breaking back in, but there's just that sort of, well, it's given us a higher low, so it's made it a bit bitty. And when you come down to the shorter time frame here, there's the trend line going the opposite way. So this is the short-term trend that was effectively sitting at the moment. It's whether or not from where it is, it's the ugliest flaggy sort of, and I say flaggy as opposed to it's not genuine flag where you've got a decent pole going up. So it's quite messy. It's whether or not it's going to be breaking this daily pivot and the trend and start rolling over. I'd have to be patient on that. At the moment, we could see a bit of a reversal go post 8 o'clock. We always got to wait post 8 o'clock. Give it a bit of time. The pound, it's a very similar picture in terms of what it's done. It's been pushing up there, and well, say similar. It's bounced now into its weekly pivot again there. Again, in terms of trend wise, we're just on this. If I can get it on there, there we go. Done the same thing here, just broken out of the trend a little bit, pulling back, and again on the short term, well, if I pop the trends on here, here's one I did earlier, it should have been, there we go. So there's the trend line there. So again, for me, there's the risk if you was to say, well, okay, I'll sell on the break of the pivot. Well, you could be finding support with a 50 MA and the trend line that's sitting there. So not the bestest there at the moment, but we'll see if they both break down. US dollar yen. US dollar yen. It's a slow old one. It was moving in the direction I thought it would a bit more yesterday, but it giveth on one day and taketh on the next, and it's become quite an ugly, choppy sort of price action. Again, all could change post 8 o'clock. We'll see what happens, but it's pretty much close double bottom there. It could be just getting into a bit of a range. We'll see. But I did expect with the dollar, well, still very strong downtrend. Had a couple of up days again. Just managed a little higher low in the lower time frames here. You see it a little bit easier. It's just, and again, same as the euro and the pound. It's just a case of patience here. And when they roll, see which one looks the best. This could look slightly better. The euro back here, it's got this real chop, but so is this. I'm looking at it, and the pound, well, it was a bit of a cleaner move actually on the pound, but similar price action right the way through. It's a case of patience of which way to go. There is the chance with them just breaking those trend lines for it to run get a continuation of the upside. Of course, we've got non-farm payrolls later, so it needs to be something that happens early in the morning for me to get into it. I don't like being leaving it until sort of midday and you sort of see the signal, and only for it to get completely crushed. US dollar CAD, I was sitting here waiting to see if this rolled over yesterday. Well, it never did. Not all that far anyway. It started to come back off again, but really struggling, and it's a bit like an inverted euro pound and Aussie at the moment. It's just on the underside of its pivot. If it can start rolling off of that, well, perhaps this could be this one of the ones that look better. But they're really in. I mean, again, the New Zealand dollar. If this would been in a big upward trend, I'd be looking at this really nicely. Really hopeful that we're going to get a continuation, just playing the continuation. But remember, all these markets, in the biggest scheme of things, have been in downward trends. Again, though, we've got this coming. It's just about to come down towards its pivot there. It's whether it can get a decent bounce off of that. Okay, across pairs, really, I mean, there's a lot of sideward choppy action going on, ranging action back into the likes of euro yen. It's the yen is really leading the way here. Euro pound certainly not anything I want to be doing with at the moment. But the other pairs that often give us a bit of a kicker, the Euro CAD is just going in a side direction. Sorry, I went on to Euro New Zealand too early. There we go. This lower high is coming through. This might develop into something again. It broke off yesterday, but again, it's so thin at the moment. And on some of these crosses, you need wider stops. You don't want to be okay. There was an obvious stop placement there yesterday if you'd got into it. But you don't want to be moving the stops too quickly, otherwise you're just going to be chopped and out, and the trend might prevail. So not a lot for me this morning. Looking on the currency pairs, I will go through the rest in the trading room in a short while. Let's just have a quick look at what's going on with gold, the bigger scale of things here. So really, gold's not. I mean, the other markets at least getting a bounce. It's hardly getting a bounce. It's still down bar. So still looking soft there. Oil surprised me in how much it's been sort of coming off here. It's broken the trend line. Well, just now need to wait for a while. I think I don't particularly want to be trying to go short on this, but it is starting to, particularly when you come down to the hourlies here, really looks messy. And I mean, yesterday I just looked at it in the afternoon and it's chopping horribly. So steering clear of this at the moment. My preference is to be on the longer side because of the fundamental risks, etc. But it might take a bit of time. Looking at the equity markets then, S&Ps still heading southbound really. Even yesterday it couldn't manage to stay on the gains. It made the small gains. And it's off first thing this morning. The Dow pretty similar, all looking, Nasdaq, they're all looking sort of iffy, and we could see continued rollover. The DAX, get a lot more people trading the DAX. It's just consolidating. You see a better picture of it on the 4 hourlies. Really quite ugly yesterday. People try and get into this, and initially it starts giving you sort of reasonable setups, and then it just goes horribly choppy. And the FTSE, let's just come back to the bigger time frame. FTSE managed a bit more of an update yesterday. Might just come back up to the underside of its weekly pivot. That would be quite nice. In fact, that's the quarterly pivot, beg your pardon. Just looking at what it's doing here, it's sort of working its way back to the upper side, but with what's been happening, if we saw likes of oil get a decent shove, generally we see the FTSE benefit quite a bit because the high number of companies, commodity or oil based, they tend to give it a good boost, but at the moment very iffy. So there you go. I will just look at the world of crypto and just look at Bitcoin for those that I get little requests and reminders. You haven't covered it for a while. Well, the reason I haven't covered it for a while is it's so horrible and choppy, and it seems like Groundhog Day every time I talk about it. You look back and, well, they've all sort of come off a bit again. Many of the ones that I look at regularly, Chainlink, etc. Actually, Chainlink's not done so bad. It's holding in there. But a lot of these, Solano is just, well, that's holding up okay. Ripple, never really made the recovery we expected it to do post court case. In fact, it's really died off here. Okay, so not the best of sites on the crypto world. No doubt it'll be manipulated throughout the weekend, but I should be steering clear of it. Not a lot on the currencies at the moment, just patience. Remember looking at the reaction on these retracements, and that's what I'll be looking for, just to see if we get anything there. Okay, have a great day, and I'll catch you on Monday. Bye for now. Right. Morning, guys.